Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Marty Haynie. I'm a member of this congregation. With me in today's service are the Reverend Margalie Belizaire, Nicki Drumb, Kathy Hamlet, and Linnea Nelson was going to join us by video because she is recovering from COVID again. Also, our music team includes music director Aubrey, Connelly-Candelario, and the folk ensemble under the direction of Jeffrey and Alex Moore and Barbara Howe. And thank you to all the teams that are supporting worship today. We welcome all to join us as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to this community. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. You are welcome here, regardless of your color, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. Families, we're so happy to have you here with us. When we sing This Little Light of Mine during the service, children are welcome to meet with our childcare folks out in the lobby. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we are a non-creedal community, and we do not subscribe to a specific set of beliefs. We live by a covenant that encourages ethical behavior, affirms democracy, celebrates the life of each individual, and unites us in a search for truth and meaning. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. We have a few special announcements today. We are glad to report that the problem with our hearing enhancement system, called a hearing loop, has been fixed. If you continue to experience problems with the hearing loop while using your hearing aids, please let someone in the tech desk know. And also, if you're not sure how to use our hearing loop with your hearing aids, there will be information in the next weekly update on how to get free help and information from an expert who is an audiologist. She's with the nonprofit Hearing Loss Association of America. She can guide you with what adjustments will work with your brand of hearing aids, and often she can give you an idea of the cost, if any, for any possible adjustment. And sign-ups for covenant groups is open. Covenant groups are a small group ministry that gather once a month. Covenant group topics will be themed with the church services. In addition to our regular daytime and evening groups, this year we're offering opportunities for a covenant group at Lutheran Towers, a parents group, and an online group. Covenant groups will meet October through May on the third week of the month. Group members are asked to commit to attend their group each month. And if you want to check out what a covenant group feels like, feel free to join our drop-in covenant group every Wednesday from 7 to 8:30. To sign up for a covenant group, please check our weekly update for the link and complete the form by September 30th. Gabby would like to thank our incredible poll worker volunteers for their work this past Tuesday. They helped over 590 voters in our precinct cast their votes. Many thanks to Kathy and Dan Hamlet, Allison Issen, Mike and Wendy McCluskey, Marianne Horn, and Carla Kazort. Let's give them another big round of applause for these amazing volunteers. We hope to have you back in November. We will welcome next week Seminarian Jakaran Olaaya to our pulpit next week, And the Reverend Margalie Belizaire will open our church year for ingathering on September the 11th, where we will ask you to bring water from your home or travels to share. All other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. Thanks again for being here in person or online today. During the sermon, we will be asking some questions, so please share your responses with the others online as those in the sanctuary talk to one another. Let's get started.
Good morning. Please join together and sing the words as we light the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Now I'd like to invite Aubrey to come up.
The First Unitarian Church of Orlando presents Emma's Revolution. We've been questioning our branding. The name of the concert series that we're doing is the Milk District Salon at 1U. But we want you all to know that this is homegrown. It was done in our church. We have a music team of Marty, Haynie, Steve Hanna, Rose Byler, and myself who've been working on this for over a year. We're very, very excited to have Emma's Revolution as our first guest. That will be September 10th at 8 o'clock. We will be helping you buy tickets after the service. They are a donation of $20, or if that's difficult, we can help you. You can just go to the website and figure that out. We do not have paper tickets. You have to do it online. If you don't have a way to do that, we'll be here this Sunday and next Sunday to help you through with that. The concert begins at 8 p.m. And I also want to let you know we have 3 more concerts coming up in this series. November, the UCF Flying Horse Big Band. January, the Montverde Academy Conservatory is presenting 100 Years of Broadway. And in March, always near and dear to my heart, the Orlando Gay Chorus is coming, and they'll be doing a concert called One Hit Wonders. To help us get ready for this, we're going to do a hymn this week and one next week, sung by Emma's Revolution, and you will see the lyrics presented on the screen behind me as they sing. Please remain seated so that you're comfortable, and please buy tickets. We would like to fill this house so that they know Orlando represents.
Love reaches out. With a mind that holds a plan, with a hand that holds a key, with a heart that holds a dream, love reaches out.
When a family's torn apart, when the street is all you have, when your faith begins to break,
Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out. Through the pain your eyes have seen, through the voices in your head, through the war you still endure, love reaches out.
to the man who asks for change, to the mother and the child, to the elder all alone,
Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out. Let us take this night to strengthen and inspire. Let love and compassion be the sword reaches out.
Where hope replaces hate,
Where wounds begin to heal, where we all will have a home. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out. Here by your side, bringing you home. Love reaches out.
Our call to worship is Sing for Justice, Sway in Hope, Play with Purpose by Reverend Gretchen Haley. So, by the title, you'll see that there might be some movement in this, and we call you to sit, stand as you are willing and able, and just kind of play around with some of the words and the movements that are suggested. And I'll be doing some movements too, and possibly. Whatever beat is moving your bones, whatever holy disturbance is rising in your chest, whatever good word you've got for the good of the whole, clap it, snap it, and bring it out, call it out. Woohoo! Take the beat on your hand, add it, change it, make it yours. Maybe dance a little bit, move and sway in your seats. Gathered here in this sweet beauty, this power, bring all that you are and let it out. Woo! Dance. Let us not waste this time. Let us make a joyful noise. A more interesting sound. A fuller call, a greater yes. Say it with me, yes. Call out, hello. Call out, amen. Woohoo! And yes. Sing for justice. What song comes out of you? Sing it. Sway in hope. Play with purpose. This time is precious. You are precious, and all of us. This chance is a gift. Each breath is a gift. Being all together here today is a gift. Let's celebrate. Find a new rhythm. Write a new song. Make a new march. For this longing, this dreaming, for the urgent call of this day, for courageous love. Let it ring out. Come, friends, let us worship together. looking around for little ones. I see a couple. So, for Time for All Ages today, we are going to do blessing of the backpacks. Yay, I see a backpack over there. We did put in the order, the weekly updates, that if you would like to bring, we invited you to bring your backpacks or your book bag and so on. So before we start, I just want to say the reason for this blessing is so that our children specifically, they realize that their lives are important to this church and that they see themselves as significant members of this congregation. And also that they hear the source of life with them even when they're away from here, that being part of a religious community is not just a Sunday morning thing. So I want to start with the little ones. I see at least two. You're gonna do something special today. This is probably something you were probably told no, not to do, but you're gonna do it today. I'm gonna invite you to do it today, but of course, with permission from your adults, the adults that your caretaker who's here with you today. So I'm gonna ask you to put on your backpacks, and then if you have shoes on, take off your shoes and stand on your pew. Come on. Stand on your pew. Yes, wonderful. And if you're not comfortable to sit in your pew, we're just going to imagine you in your pew, okay? And if you didn't bring a backpack, that's okay. We'll imagine that you are carrying your backpack. And I know that there are also some adults here who want a blessing. I will not have you stand on the pew, but but we will have something for you in a little bit. So what I want you to know is, I want you to look around at this congregation. Just look all around, little ones. Look around. Look at all these people in this congregation. Okay? Yes. Thank you. I want you to remember, wherever you are, that when you need us, we are here for you. We hope that you understand that when you are at school, you don't only have your family looking out for you. Things that happen to you at school matters to us as well, that this is your extended family. And so this is why we want to make sure that the backpack that represents what you take to school, that you bring it in here and that we bless it for you. And then we're going to do a little prayer very shortly. And now I invite all the adults who wish to receive a blessing to pick up your bag or wallet or cell phone, purse, the bag you hold your music sheet, to just now pick that up. And then if you would stand as you are able and willing, or in body and spirit, if you would stand and hold that. But do not stand on the pews, that's for the kids. Sure, while we do this? Yes, she asked if she could take her shoes off. You'd have to put them right back on. And now, again, I invite you to look around the room. Look at all these people around the room. Take your time. I want you to remember you are not alone as you go through the school of life, that you are surrounded by a religious community that is here to support you, and by people who are journeying through life with you. And that all of you are important to the church, to 1U. And I hope that you see yourself as the important and significant part that you are in this congregation, and that the source of love is with you wherever you are, and that this church cares about what happens to you when you're not here. The divine and 1U are not off to the side and something you just do on Sundays. Let's pray. Spirit of love and life, be with our children and everyone who is standing either in body or spirit as they journey out from us. Fill their hearts with courage and strength and tenderness. Help them to tell their truth about who they are and all that they see. Help us all to listen in a way that lets them speak. Be with all of us whose hearts break for the backpacks not taken up tomorrow. Help us to reach out using our minds, our bodies, and words, trusting our wise and growing hearts to truly make our classrooms, our workplaces, our homes, and our churches, and our world safe and a nurturing place for all. Spirit of life and love, fill us up with courage. Help us to know that wherever we go in love. May it be so. Amen. Now, please join us in singing hymn number 18, This Little Light of Mine, as our children go to their activities.
I sat next to Miss Harmony over here, and she is pulling it up. Good morning. I am Kathy Homblett, representing our community's caring team. If you want to contribute to our sharing of joys and concerns any week, you could send an email to joysandconcerns@orlandouu.org during the week, so it might be shared during worship on Sundays. In addition, if you're attending in person, you could also fill out a card or leave a message at the welcome table. Hand it to an usher before the start of service. As we make space for the joys and concerns of this congregation, I invite you to join in our communion of names. And if you're watching online, please add the names of those who are on your heart this morning, whether due to joys or concerns. This from Michael Lewis. My first grandchild, Hunter Lewis, was born 9 weeks prematurely due to pregnancy complications. He weighed just under 3 pounds and has been in an incubator for the last 6 weeks. He continues to gain weight, and we hope to see him home in the next few weeks. Thank goodness for modern medicine. We're wishing you the best, Mike. From Libby Jackson, a big thank you to the 1U members who staffed the election polls on Tuesday for over 13 hours, plus all their time for training and setup, and then donating their wages to the congregation. We're grateful for our wonderful volunteers and all who worked to make the elections go as smoothly as possible this past Tuesday.
Again, please give a big round of applause for those amazing volunteers, and we hope to see them back in November. And I'll add a personal thank you to Wendy McCluskey, who made sure we had great food all day long. Your Board of Trustees completed their annual retreat here on campus yesterday, facilitated by the wonderful Reverend Kimberly DeBus from Tacoma Park, Maryland. The board worked on issues including improving communications within the congregation, supporting our congregational goals of having a robust religious education program, long-term strategic planning, membership, and many others. Also be on the lookout for a new and ongoing once-a-month program of after Sunday service coffee with various members of your Board of Trustees. Details will be announced. Oh, one more. Excuse me. Margaret McLaren's father, John McLaren, passed away on July 6th, 2022, just 12 days short of his 95th birthday. Margaret, we send condolences and wishes of peace to your family.
Bring your joys, your sorrows, bring it all with you as you come here. Come as you are. Your whole self is welcome here. And this sacred space that we are creating together. For those living under the ravages of war and others who are on the verge of it, those protesting for good living conditions and whose lives are threatened in other ways, those fighting wildfires, as well as those dealing with droughts, those whose lives have been inundated by floods, and those experiencing small and great joys and finding beauty in the simple things. And for all those, for all the joys and sorrows of this community, shared and for those held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, let us send each other and the world healing energy. I invite you to silently reflect on the following words, and this will be followed for about a minute of silence. I rise in the morning torn between the desire to save the world and to savor it, to serve life or to enjoy it, to savor the sweet taste of my own joy or to share the bitter cup of my neighbor, to celebrate life with exuberant step or to struggle for the life of the heavy laden. What am I to do when the guilt of my bounty clouds the sky of my vision? When the glow which lights my every day illuminates the hurting world around me? To savor the world or save it? God of justice, if such there be, take from me the burden of my question. Let me praise my plenitude without limit. Let me cast from my eyes all troubled folk. Now you will not let me be. You will not stop my ears to the cries of the hurt and the hungry. You will not close my eyes to the sight of the afflicted. What is that you say? To save, one must serve. To savor, one must save. The one will not stand without the other. Forgive me in my preoccupation with myself. In my concern for my own life, I had forgotten. Forgive me, God of justice. Forgive me and make me whole. The words of Reverend Richard Gilbert. Remain seated and in a meditative state as we sing our centering hymn, number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Words will be on the screen.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I make my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
Now we invite you into the practice of generosity for the many ministries of the First Unitarian Church of Orlando to enable them all to thrive. You can make an offering online to support the many ministries of this congregation. Simply go to orlandouu.org and click the donate button in the upper right-hand corner, or you can send a text, or you can mail a check. You may also support this month's Share the Plate partner, the Healthcare Center for the Homeless, by finding a link to their organization in our weekly newsletter. And thank you.
Some walls
Good morning, friends. I wish I was there with you in person today, but I am definitely there in spirit. Richard Gilbert, the Unitarian Universalist minister who wrote the meditation for today, began with, "I rise in the morning, torn between the desire to save the world or to savor it, to serve life or to enjoy it." As Unitarian Universalists, we often hear the call of service, justice, and compassion before we hear the call of joy, rest, and play. Commendable, yet in order to be whole and to embrace the life we have before us, we need to find a way to also savor the world, embrace the joy, and play with abandon and rest in order to be fully human, fully alive, and fully ready to serve. We may have forgotten how to do this a little bit during the pandemic. Diane Ackerman, the author of Deep Play, notes that when one enters the realm of deep play, the sacred playground where only the present moment matters, one's history and future vanish. One doesn't remember one's past, needs, expectations, worries, real or imagined sins. The deep play world is fresh, wholly absorbing, and full of its own unique wisdom. Being able to temporarily step outside of normal life while keeping one's senses alert is indeed like being reborn. To erase all memories and yearnings, to be vigorously alive without self-awareness, can provide a brief return to innocence. I'd like to invite you into a moment of reflection on Diane Ackerman's words, to imagine a time of play that you've experienced, and hopefully experience often, that allows you to lose yourself into the present moment, when the trauma of world events, the fear of COVID, the memories of past mistakes, all disappear for a moment, where you feel alive and joyful, playing in whatever way allows you to be happy and fully present. Take a moment to imagine this feeling, this playful moment, this joy. Now I'd like to invite you to share this experience with someone near you as you feel comfortable. I'll call you back after 2 minutes of talking about a time when you've experienced play, when their time disappeared and you were fully present. So that gives about 1 minute each if you're pairing up with a partner. Thank you for playing along. Diane Ackerman goes on to describe deep play as a fascinating hallmark of being human. It reveals our need to seek a special brand of transcendence, with a passion that makes thrill-seeking explicable, creativity possible, and religion inevitable. Perhaps religion seems an unlikely example of playing, but if you look at religious rites and festivals, you'll see all the play elements and also how deep that play can become. Religious rituals usually include dance, worship, music, and decoration. They swallow time. They are ecstatic, absorbing, rejuvenating. So I now invite you into a moment of reflection and at a time when your religious life, here at 1U or somewhere else, especially if you're a guest, and we so welcome your memories as well, felt playful. Was it singing in the choir or playing in the band, leading a group of children, participating in the flower communion, or pouring water from a communal pitcher into our ingathering bowl? Walking up the labyrinth, greeting a friend, playing with your friends as a child. Take in whatever moment came to you and enjoy this moment of what play is like for you here at 1U or your other religious homes. As you're imagining that, I'm going to invite the ushers to come forward with a microphone. And if you are willing to share what has come to you, what you found playful here at 1U, just raise your hand and an usher will bring you a microphone. You may stand if you are willing and able and share your name before your comment.
Years ago, we called it a talent show, but not really. And I remember Mike McCluskey made me a boa out of duct tape. And we sang an ode to duct tape, and it filled me with joy. And as long until it fell apart, I carried that duct tape boa with me. And it made me smile every time.
It's another Mike McCluskey story, and it was 100 years ago, buildings and grinds, trying to get a phone cable or something from over there to over here, and playing in the dirt and digging and shoveling and hose pipes and wet t-shirts and laughing and knowing that nobody else cared because they weren't in that hole with Mike and me. They were just up there.
My very first experience in this space, it was actually over there because it was before the sanctuary built, was an anniversary celebration for Ellen Hone and Sharon Durant and a heterosexual couple. The place was packed. I mean, the chairs, there might have been 180 people there. And they were celebrating this was in 1985, maybe, 92. It was a long time ago, before everybody in town was not celebrating gay couples and heterosexual couples. And I said, wow, these people really know how to fellowship. This is my kind of group. And that's what led us eventually to this church, was that great celebration. It was a blast.
So in the back here, I remember last year at the preparing for the Pride Parade with Reverend Margalie in the truck with me. We had the most wonderful time driving through Orlando, waving flags, passing out fans, screaming and hollering out of the truck. It was just such a wonderful experience. And by the way, that's coming up in a month or so, so be prepared. We'll be decorating and everything. I also want to remember a time, maybe 4 years ago, pre-pandemic, when we did a story for the children and a play called The Flaming Latke. And if those of you remember, my purple-haired daughter running around the congregation like she had her you-know-what on fire, she's doing well and still acts up like that all the time.
I remember her well.
Do these have to be based on the truth? I'm going to ask some people to help remember. We used to celebrate in the 1980s a wintertime festival called the Boar's Head. And Hal Listen, who I think is out with the kiddos right now, he was one of the main instigators. And in Gore Hall, we had a winter festival, and we traipsed through Boar's Head. I can't believe that we actually had a boar's head, but there was a semblance of a boar's head and a big festival and song and winter celebration. It was just a wonderful community event that we did year after year.
I remember the dancing that we did up front here after Pulse. And thank goodness they made a movie out of it, because every time I see that movie, I just fill with joy.
So, for me, it was the Pride Parade was it last year? Last year, because honestly, I would never think that I would be able to sit in a church truck waving a pride flag. That was not on a bucket list. I did not think that would happen. So the fact that I was able to do that and just be proud of my identity with a church was one of my favorite things.
Once upon a time, I was a young adult, and we decided we were going to invite the rich weirdos to come have a Rocky Horror Picture Show here at the church. And we invited the congregants to come in their inner Brad and Janet, or actually dress up as Brad and Janet. And there were so many Columbias and Rockies and Magentas coming out of the woodwork from yesteryear. It was amazing. And my favorite three things. Number one, my husband's very shy, but I got him to wear a corset. So from the back, black shirt, black jeans. And Dan Hoblet's like going to say hi to Paul, and Paul turns around, and it's a sparkly red corset, and Dan busted up laughing like, oh my God. Number two, Dan's lovely wife, Kathy, was our president, and she got a lap dance at the front from Logan, our MC. And in the back, I heard, this was the ready room, kind of dressing room and the wiggle room, and I heard one of the young adults who performed were like, oh my God, there's old ladies in the pews. I don't know if I can do a lap dance for them. And Logan said, don't worry, these are very cool old ladies. They made Planned Parenthood here in Orlando. I think you'll be okay.
On my birthday this year was the summer solstice service that was led by Mystic Grove. And before I came into the service, I took some time to take notes and pray outside before I came in. And I was thanking God for an amazing birthday. And I said, well, this sounds really petty and selfish, but the only thing I really want to do is dance. I didn't get to dance on my birthday, but I didn't really want to go to a nightclub. So I hope dancing just comes into my day. Of course, we danced at that service. I had so much fun, and we sang a song about a pumpkin, and that's like my favorite thing in the world. I never get to do that during June, so that was a lot of fun for me.
We have room for one more, or if not, I have one to share. I remember the Boar's Head dinners too. Those were so fun. And I remember organizing a small rebellion, the Vegetarian Vikings. And I convinced a couple of friends to put colanders on our heads as the armor and bananas coming out of them and doing a protest. And it was the funnest, most enjoyable protest I've ever done. It was just all in great spirit. We all had a great time.
Thank you. Ackerman continues, in rare moments of deep play, we can lay aside our sense of self, sheds time's continuum, ignore pain, and sit quietly in the absolute present, watching the world's ordinary miracles. No mind or heart hobbles, no analyzing or explaining, no questing for logic, no promises, no goals, no relationships, no worry. One is completely open to whatever drama may unfold. As Unitarian Universalists, we can be so darn serious, and in this world of hurt, it is important that we put our whole selves into saving, transforming wars into peace, injustices into equity, and the brokenhearted into those healed by love. Yet if we see ourselves as only the saviors, we might forget that we too need to be whole, and our traumas need to be healed. And one way to start to do this is to create sacred space to play. Our connection to our children, our parents, our partners, our work friends can get bogged down in the responsibilities of life. So feeling joy and living joy in these challenging times might need to be planned and time carved out to find a lightheartedness that allows us to go on, that feeds our sense of holy self, and in turn feeds our desire to make the world a better place. Mark Beckhoff writes that play is training for the unexpected. Oh, and we are now all fully aware that the unexpected can cause chaos and challenge and injustice and trauma in everyone's lives. The pandemic woke us to the unexpected and challenged us to find a way forward. The Reverend Sandra Fees writes, a person or animal that stops playing becomes disinterested in new activities. When play stops, it becomes hard to find pleasure in the world. When play stops, our creativity, adaptability, and intelligence get thwarted. So I asked, did that happen to you during the pandemic? Sometimes I just wanted to escape, burrow under the covers, or watch another Netflix and wait until it all went away and health returned to our world. And I knew that however I chose to escape, my fantasy of healing wouldn't come true. Too much devastation has already occurred, and yet I knew that if I spiraled down with it, I had to question, how was I serving the world? I realized that I needed to play. For me, that is seeing friends, playing a board game, painting and writing. Richard Gilbert's words to savor the world so that I could be part of saving it were published in 2012, yet they speak to me deeply in 2022. So I invite all of us to remember to play, even if we need to create more time and space for it. Recognizing play and savoring the world will help us to be wholly human as time and responsibilities disappear for a moment, without escaping the world, but rather preparing to serve it. Good morning, friends.
Like everyone, you say the thunder
It is hard to know when to respond to the seductiveness of the world and when to respond to its challenge. If the world was merely seductive, that would be easy. If it were merely challenging, there would be no problem. But I arise in the morning torn between the desire to improve the world and the desire to enjoy the world. This makes it hard to plan the day. E.B. White. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins. But remember to include some play into it.
Let us join together in saying the words of the extinguishing of our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.